Welcome everyone to another Brighter Graphics BluebeamMeUp webinar. Sean is actually on vacation this week, so I get the honor of kicking things off this time around as we introduce a Bluebeam Revu function called quantity link. So let's dive right in and get started. My name is Troy DeGroot and I am the Bluebeam Professional Services Director with U Chapter 2. I'm excited to partner with the team at Brighter Graphics to deliver world-class Bluebeam training and customization services, empowering you to get the most out of your Bluebeam investment. This month's webinar is focused on one of my favorite, most powerful functions in Bluebeam called Quantity Link. This is a feature used for transferring tendering data from Bluebeam directly into Microsoft Excel. This is a live transfer of information, so as you continue to measure materials, the totals will automatically update in the spreadsheet. Because this webinar talks about just one feature, it's going to be a little shorter than others, but just like our training, we're going to get straight to the point and be done so you can get back to work practicing what you've learned. Here are just a couple reasons I've heard for using Bluebeam in tendering with or without quantity link as I work with customers. The first one I hear is that they're using legacy estimating software that's probably one Windows update away from dying. Another one is pretty common is disconnected workflows. They're highlighting on paper and data entry manually into spreadsheets and nothing's connected. Others have sophisticated spreadsheets with formulas and everything, but still disconnected with manual highlighters on paper. And then there's always those that are just tossing sloppy numbers at projects and praying they don't lose. So first, we need to make sure you have the right tools available. Quantity Link is not available in Revu 2016 or older. That's a feature that came out in 2017 with several other new measuring features for estimating. Revu 2017 through Revu 20, you must have the extreme version. And then the latest version, Revu 21, you must have the complete version to have access to Quantity Link. And of course, the team at Brighter Graphics is there to help navigate new and existing licenses. So you can reach out to them if you need to upgrade. Next, we're going to dive into the software and show a few admin settings, show you how to establish the link between Excel and Revu, show some markup examples, and then show how assemblies can take things to the next level. Let's jump into the software and get started. Okay, so first off, we're going to look at some admin settings. So you're going to go up to the Review menu up at the top, go down to Administrator, and your Administrator window is going to pop up. Let me bring that up here. And what we want to make sure that we have turned on the Plugins tab, make sure that you have Microsoft Excel, Quantity Link, and then the version that you're on. Make sure you turn that link on. Okay. That's where you turn on the plugin so you have that available. So we're going to apply that. Say OK. Now you'll see here that I have a drawing already marked up with several measurements. I've got flooring in different rooms. I've got some walls, some bathroom fixtures. So first off, I just want to point out that I've got custom tools in my tool set. That's important because we'll need to link to very specific tools in order to pull through the quantities of those. So we'll show you how that works. But I wanted to just show you how I have a drawing already that's marked up, at least somewhat, and then I saved it. So next I'm going to open up an Excel sheet, and I've started this one just real basic. I just came in and typed in a header. This is all just text in Excel. I haven't done any linking or anything like that. we'll show you how to do that now. So these are a few of the things that I'm going to be quantifying. And so I have four different types of carpet in this building and some wood flooring as well. So to establish the link to the document, we're going to go ahead and click in the first cell here. We're going to right click, go to quantity link, and we're going to look at the preferences first and see what's in here. So this is showing us what's going to show up in my Excel file. So in my apply a cell fill color. So when we have a number coming over from Bluebeam, we can choose to have it apply a color, and we can pick that color. So we'll pick something that just kind of tells people leave this one alone. We don't edit that, right? Because it's linked. And then we can also include units and include the markup quantity if we want to. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'll pick all three, but basically the quantity is going to pop up in the cell that we choose. Next to it, it's going to automatically fill in the units, and then next to that, it'll tell us how many of those markups there are. So I'm just going to say OK here. We're going to right click again, go to quantity link, and this time we're going to select create. This window is going to pop up asking us what files we want to connect to. So I'm going to come in here and add files, and I'm going to navigate out to the folder or to the drawing that I have attached. My floor plan here, and say OK. And next it's going to ask me what tool I want to point at to put the quantity in here. So carpet 1, I'm going to go ahead and pick the area is what I'm looking for carpet. And then it's asking me, I can keep narrowing this down and filtering and getting more and more granular if I want to. I'm just going to go with the subject, go with carpet 1, and I'm going to say OK. And it's pulling in that quantity, the unit, and the number of instances of carpet 1 in the drawing. So I'm going to just repeat that and go through the different flooring in here. Right click, quantity link. I'm already attached to the document, so I don't have to do that again. I'm just going to go create, area, subject, carpet 2. You get the idea. I'm just going to go through and finish these. You can see how quickly you can set these up. Carpet 4, and then one last one for flooring. Area again, and this one is wood. Say OK there. So I've got all my flooring taken care of. And next, we're going to go into the bathroom fixtures. So I'm going to link this one. This time I'm going to go quantity link, create again, and this time I want account. And I'm looking for my toilet. OK. And my sinks. Okay, and I'm going to come back to this one in a little bit. So now I'm just going to show you, I'm going to pull this off to the side over here. Go ahead and open up my Bluebeam and toss that one over here. Equal this out a little bit. There we go. So you can see my quantities over here. What this means over here is I've got 2 toilets and there's one set of counts. So don't be confused by this. I would just get rid of those so you don't get confused. But What I wanted to show you here was that, okay, we've got our sinks. We've got one selected here. I'm just going to right click and resume count and go ahead and click on the rest of them. And when I'm done, I can quit that. And over here you can see it's updating live. I now have 5 sinks. Resume count on the toilets. Count the rest of those. I've got 6 toilets in there, and so on. I can go in and we're going to put carpet in this room. And a couple different ways to do that. We're going to go ahead and use dynamic fill on this one because it's a little bit of an odd shape. So I'm just going to run through this quickly. We talked about dynamic fill on a different webinar. Go ahead and fill this room. And from here, we can select our custom tools as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put carpet 2 and apply. And then you'll notice that our quantities increased over here. Again, so it keeps filling those in as I keep adding my flooring. And I can go in, you can see all of these different colors represent my different carpet. I can just keep going in and adding my flooring. Okay, so let's come down here and just do a couple of these rectangle rooms. Nice and easy. I'm going to do carpet 1 for my tool chest over here. And go ahead and do my office. Switch over to carpet 2. And you should be able to see over there in the spreadsheet, my quantities are increasing with each room. A couple more here. Very, very quickly just coming in and getting our quantities. And they're all filling into our spreadsheet, which gives us an opportunity to then have formulas built in. Let Excel do what it's good at. I've seen formulas built in for quantities of different things, labor, shop time, all kinds of different things, waste factors. A lot of people build those into spreadsheets as well. And we can take advantage of Excel for those things and let Bluebeam do the measurements for all of that. So that's as easy as it is. You link the spreadsheet to the drawing, and then you start to link in the cells for each of the tools that you have over here. Once we're done with that, you can save this as a template, your spreadsheet. Of course, save your tool sets, and then put your Excel spreadsheet in a template folder. Make that your template spreadsheet. And then on the next one, you're just going to come in, and I'm just going to point to this. You don't have to map all of these cells again. You're just going to come in and go to quantity link and update the source files. Point this to the new set of drawings or the folder, and then get back at marking up the drawings. And all of those quantities, all those cells are still active and they'll work. You just point to the new source files. Another thing I wanted to show was assemblies. So not only can we get our quantities over, but in most cases, a lot of your materials are factors of other materials. So for instance, I've got wall framing over here, steel studs. I've traced over these walls. And so I have a base track in that assembly. I have base track for my steel studs, top track. I have studs at different spacings. Maybe I have clips, top and bottom. I don't have to have measurements for all of these and markups. I can just, let's go ahead and link that and create our assembly. So I'm going to select the cell where I want that quantity to load into. I'm going to go into my quantity link, create again. This time I'm going with length of the subject is my wall, and I'm going to say OK. And that'll tell me how many meters of that wall I have and how many instances. So now you can imagine here that my base track is going to be the same as my top track in this case. So here I might just say equals and click up here and enter, and then that will update every time this one is. For my studs, my individual studs, I might say equals this distance divided by 0.5 meters, or whatever your stud spacing is at, parenthesis, and then I usually just do a +1 for my starter stud and say enter. And there you can see it's counting according to the spacing I put in the formula how many studs we need. And then for clips, if you have one top and bottom of each of those studs, then this one's just going to be equals, and I'm not an Excel expert, I don't know if you need the parentheses in here, but we're gonna do that, and we're going ×2 on this one to give us the number of clips. So you can start to build out assemblies. Now when I come in here and I select my tool again and I trace in that next wall, you can see all of those quantities for all the materials that make up that wall increase. So let's do another one so you can see it. Over there, if I hold my shift key, it'll draw a straight line. And all my quantities are adding up for me. Lots of interesting things you can do once you get those custom tools built and linked into the spreadsheet. There's formulas all over the place that you can do with your, like I said, your labor, your waste factors. Standardize all of that in your spreadsheet so that all of your employees are getting the same results. So let's look at another example. I'm going to go ahead and open up a different one here. Got all kinds of stuff open here to show. And I need a different Excel file, this one here. So this one is a concrete example, and what I've done is I've got all my isolated footings under my columns here. I've got piers, I've got strip footings, continuous footings, I've got slabs in here. And for this customer, I've got all the different common slabs that they have. These are all imperial, as you can see. And then my spreadsheet over here is linked to show me all of my quantities. And then there's all kinds of fun things that you can do, like I said, with formulas. So let's say I add another 5-inch slab over here. You're going to see in row 4 on the spreadsheet, I've got my slabs, and it's going to update my cubic yards of concrete. So again, those are red. They're coming in from Bluebeam, so I don't want anybody to edit those. But the ones I can edit, I usually mark those in green. So a typical truck might hold 9 yards, or I might have a front load that has 11 yards, and that will dictate over here how many trucks that I have. So you can see that number change. Just having some fun with it. And then the price is changing every day. If I update the price for per yard, put that in here, it's going to change all the bid information and my total down here, and so on and so forth. So the goal here is to just pick the correct tools, color in the plans, and have all your quantities show up in the spreadsheet with your waste factors, any sort of assemblies that you can build into there, so on and so forth. Where do you start with your estimating and your quantity links? I start every custom implementation with the same questions. Do you have an existing spreadsheet filled with formulas and existing data? Do your colored highlighters mean something specific in your workflows? Do you have older, more experienced team members that we can learn from and how they approach their projects, and hopefully build some of that into our spreadsheet and our markups? Once you have all your custom markup tools created and your spreadsheet ready to go, link to a new drawing. No need to remap each cell, just the source files. Then I would recommend creating a template project folder, subfolders structure to keep all the documents standardized in location as well. Create folders for drawings, spreadsheets, RFIs, site photos, and revisions. This way, on the next project, you simply update the source file to the new drawing folder and start your markups. All right, that's what I have to share today regarding quantity link. I hope you learned a few things and can apply them to your work immediately to help generate your material quantities. Thanks for hanging out again this month. As always, you can reach out to the team at Brighter Graphics for support and resources. There's several resources here listed. And with that, I want to thank you all for being part of the BluebeamMeUp series for over a year now. We have just one more webinar coming next month to talk about creating reports from your markups. That's coming June 27th. Be sure to register for that. And as that series comes to an end, we've been working on some really exciting things coming up, and more news to follow on that. Thanks for joining, and have a great rest of the day.